Hi, I'm Coach Andre. Welcome to the FlexTheory method, full body mobility for beginners and everyone else. Now, let's say this is a follow along. So let's say that you are unable right now to get into a straddle, or maybe you can. Maybe this position isn't accessible to you and you can't lean forward, and you certainly can't go into anything similar to a pancake. That's okay. We're going to use another position that will give you more accessibility and other options. Let's get into it. This will take you about 10 minutes. So do what I do, the way I say to do it, and you will learn what you have yet to learn. I'm going to start with my feet apart, standing up, starting out with my feet pointing forward. And I want you to bring your feet as wide as you need to in order to place your hands on the floor. Now, let's say that your feet are wide as they can go and you still can't put your hands on the floor, and grab a chair or some yoga blocks or whatever will allow you to keep your hands in the same relative place. And you want them about as wide as your hands, unless it's particularly wide. You want them a little bit closer. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you from the side first. Feet pointing forward, hands where they need to be, leaning forward. First thing, I just want you to be in place. We're going to count to 10 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, relax, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. Now from here, this is where the changes start. Think about your position right now as an isosceles triangle with your hips in the middle of, at the apex of that triangle. We are going to use one hand and one foot to shift to one side. So you're physically pushing, feet still pointing forward. We're going to push into one side, and you're going to get to your lateral hamstrings and your glute medius and minimus on the other side. So I want you to push with your hand, push with your opposite foot, and move into it. And you'll see that the apex of that isosceles triangle moves over to create a right or a scalene triangle. Push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is 10. And now we're going to gracefully shift to the other side. So without coming up, I want you to push with your other hand and your other foot until you go as far as you can in the opposite direction. Drive your hand and foot into the floor and push your hips in the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. Okay, we're going to do another round. So we're going to shift over to where we started, but we're going to add something. So all else is still true. We're pushing all the way over using your hand and your foot. But now I want you to think about stretching the floor between your feet. Now, this requires that you're on a surface, or that you at least have shoes or something on that surface that prevent you from slipping, so that you can stretch the floor. The floor is not going to go anywhere. If your floor goes somewhere, you don't need this. But if you're a human, and you do, I want you to push everything over like so, back to the original position, and then think about drawing your feet apart, and it will set up an isometric push on an extended portion of you, i.e. the lateral hamstrings, glute minimus, and glute medius. So we're going to use the position to gain access, and every time we gain access, we exploit it with what we do to develop the access gained. That's how it works. I want you to push everything over, find your best position, and now stretch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep stretching that floor, and that's 10. And then we're going to press into the other side. You're driving the opposite hand and foot into the floor to get there, and then stretch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is 10. And then come back to the center position, and you can stop for a second. Now, if you can, get to the squat, wonderful. If you can't, you don't have to be here. This is just where I am. We're going to do another couple of rounds in the same way, except instead of having the feet pointed forward, we're going to turn them out 20 to 30 degrees from forward in each direction. Here's what it looks like. Turn them out a bit. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. We're doing this, change the position, because when you change the position, you change the distribution of forces. When you change the distribution of forces, you change what you access and what you have the potential to develop. So all things you do have purpose. All right, here we go. Shift everything over. Push your hips over. Drive the opposite hand and foot into the floor, and then stretch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then shift all the way over to the other side. 1, push, stretch the floor. 2, 3, 4. This is intense. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. And then I want you to come all the way back to the center. Now we're going to keep going, but we're going to change our relative position between our feet. Turn your feet forward again and bring your feet a little closer together than they were in the very first round. And that might mean you're up a bit higher. That might mean you have to go from yoga blocks to a chair. That might not mean you have to do anything, but change your position. And we're going to do it again. Feet forward first. Push as far over as you can. It's going to feel more aggressive or aggressive in a different spot. Stretch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. And then use the hand, the hand and the foot of the target side to press, take advantage of all the stress you're under to create the opportunity for more growth, because this will grow your hamstrings, not simply make you more flexible. All right, push and then stretch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is 10. I'm going to come back to the center, and I want you to turn your feet out 20 to 30 degrees like we did before. And then once you do that, we're going to push all the way over and stretch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. Press with the target foot in hand. Move all the way over. Get to your maxed out position. Whatever you can handle. Don't overdo it. Just do it. And then stretch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. Come back to the neutral position, and then I'm going to come back down for a moment and then tell you what we're going to do next. So we have one more thing, similar position, change of configuration a little bit. This is going to help you get to your lower back on one side around the SI joint while you are still accessing the lateral hamstrings and more of the dead center of the hamstring along the belly. So here's what it looks like. I'm going to turn my feet forward, and you want your legs relatively close, like the last round. I want you to take one hand, grab your shin, and then you're going to take the other one, and you're going to press down. You're going to get a good grip here, and then press down. And when you press down between your arm and your shoulder and this side of your back, you're going to take all the slack away. And that's where the fun begins. I want you to, once you push down, you're going to notice that you have a bias toward one side as soon as you do. And we're going to shift the hips in that direction. You're going to push with this foot, press down with this hand, and drive yourself sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come back to the center. We're going to switch. Get a good grip. Press down. And make sure when you start pressing down, your shoulder extends. And then drive your hips in the other direction. 1, 2, press down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that is 10. Come back to the neutral position. We're going to do that once more, and you guessed it, with the toes out about 20 to 30 degrees in each direction. So get a good grip, press down, and shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. Press. You might be burning right now. If you're burning, you're doing it right. I'm burning, and I'm not new at this at all. I made it up. Press down, grab, shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10. Shift back to the neutral position, and then come all the way back down. Excellent. So hopefully you felt your lateral hamstrings, your glute medius, your glute minimus, all the portions of your side hip that allow you to do abduction, and then your SI joint. If you didn't feel your SI joint, then try it again. Push down a little harder. Be more aggressive here, and pay attention to where this hand is. When you're done, you want your elbow and hand about the same altitude. And if you do that, you're going to get much better access to the SI joint. That's all you have to do for today. Now, I want you to I do want you to do this. Go ahead and sit down and see if you feel a little bit better in your straddle position. Getting to the lateral hamstrings allows you to access the hamstrings far better than when you were in line with your leg. And by better, I mean addressing an individual problem that most people ignore. A lot of times your hamstrings are tightest on that third portion of that bundle of muscles that make them hamstrings. The lateral hamstrings hardly get addressed, and what you just did was one way to get to them. So then if you reach in one direction, you see how you feel here, and you check both legs, you might notice that your hamstrings feel better than normal. Maybe you're able to lean a bit further forward here. There's lots more that we're going to do, but that is our first full body mobility session. Thank you for being here, and until next time, which will be soon, flex hard.